I continue. Okay.
So you guys, let me know when you're ready.
I'm ready. Yeah. We're ready to start. You can let everyone in.
Okay, so Mohad and sorry, it's Orobosa or Orobosa?
Orobosa.
Orobosa. Okay.
Exactly.
Alrighty. Well, if you guys are ready, I'm gonna let people come in. We have a few now. We might get a few more as we go. Sometimes people sort of make their way later on, but we'll let everyone in and get started.
Okay.
Okay, yeah. Okay, see ya.
Hello, everyone. Welcome. Thank you for joining us today for our Fundamentals of Technology series. We are fortunate to have the OnTech at-home computer club with us. It's the University of Waterloo student-run initiative that aims to enrich people's lives through technology. For those of you who were able to join us last month, we did a session on Zoom and how to run Zoom. So that was really helpful. Today we have Mohat and Orobosa with us, and they're going to talk with us about some internet browsing, some features of browsers, and how to do various tasks. I would like to let everyone know that this session is being recorded, and it will be placed on YouTube later on. You'll get the link. If you do not want yourself to be on camera, then you're welcome, of course, to turn off your camera. If you have any questions that you think of during the presentation, then send them to me in chat. And after the presentation is done, our guests will be able to maybe answer some of those questions. So without further ado, I would like to turn it over to Mohat and Orobosa.
All right. Thank you for that introduction, Dan. Hello, everyone. Welcome to this presentation. Again, my name is Mohad, and I'm with my colleague
Orobosa.
And we are here from NTech to talk about the fundamentals of web browsing. So quickly, I'm going to go over what we are going to be talking about. So Orobosa will start off by talking about web browsers and how you can use web browsers. She will then talk about internet security. Orobosa will then talk about Google and how you can use Google. I will then go into Google Tools and how you can best adjust your Google experience for your searching needs. And then I will do a very interesting Google Maps demonstration. And then Orobosa will talk about YouTube, how you can use it, YouTube privacy, and she will do a YouTube demonstration. We will then end off with a 20-ish minute Q&A session, which leads us to the next slide. Again, as Dan mentioned, if you have any questions during the presentation, just leave them down in the comment box below, and we will get to them at the end of the presentation.
Okay, now I'll first start off. Now, before you have 4 different icons. Each represents something different. From left to right, the first one is Google Chrome, the second one is Safari, the third one is Firefox, and the fourth one is Internet Explorer. But the big question is, what exactly are these icons. Well, these icons are known as internet browsers. Now let's have a closer look at each of these icons. The first one we'll look at is Google Chrome. Now, Google Chrome is a browser, an internet browser, and it became the most dominant browser by 2013. It surpassed all other internet browsers, and it was launched in 2008 by the trillion-dollar company Google. Second on our list is Safari. Safari is also known as an internet browser that was created by Apple. Apple is currently worth $2 trillion. Safari was specifically launched in 2003, which was about 18 years ago. The third browser that we will be looking at today is Firefox, which was formerly known, or rather formerly is known, as Mozilla Firefox. It was created by two American developers, Dave Hyatt and Blake Ross, and it was launched in 2002. But Mozilla Firefox actually earned its name in 2004. Before that, it was actually called Firebird. What had happened was it changed its name to Firefox because another development company had the same name. So they decided to change it to Mozilla Firefox instead of having it as Firebird. And it was also the first to offer private browsing, but we'll get into that a little later. The last browser we'll be looking at today is known as Internet Explorer. Internet Explorer was created by Microsoft, a company that now has a market capitalization of over more than $1 trillion. Internet Explorer was launched in July of 1995, and it did discontinue, but it was one of the early internet browsers known, and it has now been officially replaced with Microsoft Edge. That occurred in 2015. Now we have all of these browsers that we talked about, but what exactly are browsers used for? Well, browsers are for browsing. Think of browsing as a physical catalog, like an IKEA catalog or a perfume catalog. The difference is this is actually online and done through a website. Think of a website as a virtual store. You can browse through the news like you would a newspaper. The best part is all your favorite news channels are online. So CNN, BBC, CBC, and so much more. You can browse through online books as well as you would do in a library. These are called ebooks. And you can find them on websites such as Google eBook Store, Amazon Kindle Store, Kobo, and so much more. A free bookstore that I personally like to use is called Library Genesis. And you can even browse through online stores, just as if you would do in person, for example, in Walmart, in Amazon, and AliExpress, which has a lot of great things for cheap online as well, and all your favorite stores too. But one thing we have to make sure to always remember is that with browsing comes safety. You need to protect yourself online and all of your personal information. It can be easy for your personal information to be accessed and accessed by people that you don't want to access it. There are many programs that can be downloaded for free too, to protect you and keep your information safe. Now, Norton and Bitfinder are programs that you actually have to pay for, but don't fret because there are also free programs offered as well by the internet browsers that we talked about before. For example, Safari. Safari has the ability to turn security warnings on or off and warns you about sites that are not safe. Mozilla Firefox has the ability to do enhanced tracking protection, a shield keeping on your computer. So think of it as a shield that just protects all your information. Internet Explorer, which is now known as Microsoft Edge, has tracking prevention. And what that does is it blocks a lot of things from accessing your personal info. Now, Google Chrome has ad block, which specifically blocks pop-ups and ads that you shouldn't be seeing. Now, here's a demonstration of how to add a protective program to a browser, AdBlock. The browser we'll be working with is Google Chrome, and we'll be showing you how to add the AdBlock extension. Mohad, would you please do me the favor of putting this in big screen and playing it?
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Okay.
Give me a second.
No problem. Now to add the ad blocker to your Google Chrome extensions, the first thing you'll need to do is open Google Chrome. It'll bring you to your Google Chrome homepage. In the top left corner, you'll see the apps. Click that. Now, this will bring you to the apps page of your Google Chrome with all the apps that you have. You're going to want to click the Web Store app. This has now brought you to the Google Chrome Web Store. Now in the search box in the left corner here, I'll need you to type in AdBlock and then hit enter. Now the AdBlock extension that we will be adding is the one called AdBlock, Best Ad Blocker, offered by getadblock.com. Click that one. Then you're going to want to click Add to Chrome. A pop-up will show up right here, and it will tell you that AdBlock can read and change all your data on the websites you visit. This just means that AdBlock will go onto the website and detect whether ads are being shown, and it will block them from being shown. And then you're going to want to click Add Extension to confirm that you want to actually add it onto your Google Chrome. Once you do that, a tab will open up saying installing AdBlock. Now, once it brings you to this ping page, just exit it because at this point, AdBlock has been successfully added to your Google Chrome webpage. And now you can freely surf the web and browse without worrying about pop-ups. Okay, thank you very much for that, Mohad. Now, in conclusion, each of these browsers have various ways of keeping you safe. Sorry about that. Each of these browsers have various ways of keeping you safe. So the point is to keep yourself safe by utilizing them. Now, an important note is to beware of phishing. Phishing is an online attack on your data. It steals your logins, your credit card numbers, and various personal information. A sign of phishing while browsing could occur through ads and pop-ups. A pop-up might instantly direct you to a website asking you to enter personal information immediately. And an ad may use certain words to grab your attention. But when you click it, it will begin to ask you for your personal information. Always be cautious with online things that are asking you for personal information. Okay, now we talked about internet browsers and we talked about browsing as well as safe browsing, but we haven't talked about how to browse. Search engines. Search engines equal successful browsing. Think of a car engine. It has a job of making a car move to various places. Well, search engines take your searches as far as possible in order to retrieve as much information as possible, which then allows you to browse through all the information that has been retrieved. This is why you can search the internet for literally anything. Some search engines include Yahoo Search, Bing, and Google. The best part is you can choose which search engine you prefer to use on your device. Sometimes you'll have it downloaded already, but if it's not already there, then you can download it yourself. To get a better understanding of search engines, let's take a closer look at the browser Google Chrome and its search engine Google, which is currently the highest ranked search engine used today. It provides high quality results for every single thing that you search and tries to do this in the most accurate way possible. For an image search, for a video search, for news search, you name it, Google Chrome has it all built into one search engine. And now for a closer look from Mohad.
All right, so as Aurovasa was talking about, Google has a lot of different tools you can use to adjust your experience based on what you're looking for. Before I go into that, I just wanted to show everyone how you can actually Google search and how you can actually get to the Google engine. So this video will show that. So first I'm going to open up my browser, Google Chrome, and then I will go into the search bar on Google and I will enter what I'm looking for. So I'm looking for the City of Waterloo website, It gives me the option to add library to the end, but I don't want that. That's just based on something that I have searched in the past. I'll click delete, and then I can either click the magnifying glass on the search engine, or I can click enter. And then it brings me to this page, which we will now talk about in more detail. So Google Tools, you have Google Images, Google Maps, Google News, and Google Videos. You can use all of these platforms to adjust your search experience based on what you're looking for. Let's say you want to find a picture of a car. You can go into Google Images. Let's say you need directions or you want to see what a place looks like. You can use Google Maps. Let's say you want the latest news stories. You can use Google News. Let's say you want to see videos on a certain topic. You can use Google Videos. Google Videos is actually connected to YouTube, which is something we'll talk about later on in the presentation. That is sort of a better platform you can use to search videos. It is basically Google, but for videos. So again, this is sort of the page that opened up when I entered City of Waterloo. At the top of the screen, you can see that you have your search bar where City of Waterloo was entered. If you go across the search bar, you can see that there's actually a microphone here. So if you're more comfortable with actually saying what you want to search instead of typing it, you can actually turn on the microphone, say City of Waterloo, and it'll automatically type that into the search bar. Underneath the search bar, we have a bunch of tools that I was talking about. So we have the all section. This section will provide you with a little bit of everything. So as you can see on this page, we have a link to the City of Waterloo website. We have some other search suggestions based on some popular searches, and we have a map of the City of Waterloo. As we go across this toolbar, you have maps, which will provide you with a bigger map, which we'll talk about later as well. News, which again provides you with the latest news stories. Images, which will provide you with images related to what you searched, videos. Then under more, we have shopping, books, flights, and finance. We won't really talk about these just because they aren't the most interesting topics, and the first 5 are the ones that will be most helpful to you. So again, I have now clicked on Google Images, and now you can see that images is highlighted in blue. Over here, we have every image that is related to the City of Waterloo. So that can be buildings in the City of Waterloo, that can be the City of Waterloo logo, or just other pictures with nature and stuff like that in the City of Waterloo. We will now go on to the next section, Google News. As you can see, I have now clicked over here on Google News, and the news section has now been highlighted in blue. This now provides me with the latest news stories based on what I have searched. So based on the City of Waterloo, these are the latest news stories. You can see that they are linked to different websites as well. This article over here is linked to CTV. This one's linked to CTV. This one's also linked to CTV. The first one is linked to kitchenertoday.com. And you can click on these links to open up the full article and get a full perspective of what the article is talking about. It does give you a little bit of a preview here as well, which is nice. We will then go into Google Videos. As I mentioned before, Google Videos usually connects you to YouTube. You can see that actually the second link over here is www.youtube.com. So is one over here, youtube.com. And the other videos are from different websites, but they usually are found on YouTube as well, which is why we'll talk about that resource as well. And finally, we'll do a demonstration on this later in the presentation, but Google Maps provides you with what you're looking for. You can get directions, you can see what an area looks like, or you can just roam around on Street View if you'd like. So again, Google has a lot of uses, educational purposes, instructional purposes, but one very important one is community resources. So one important community resource that I thought I would share with you all is sort of your city website or your community website. So let's say you're from Hamilton or you're from Waterloo, you can go into the search bar and you can enter city of wherever you're from. So I entered City of Waterloo here. You could enter City of Hamilton, City of Mississauga, City of Toronto. It'll bring you to this page where the first link will be your city website. So I have now clicked this link, the City of Waterloo, and it brings me to this page. Now this page has a lot of information that I would definitely recommend. Wherever you are, make sure you get access to your city website and you use it as much as you possibly can, because it is very helpful. At the top of the page, you have sort of a search bar. Based on what you're looking for, you can type something in if you can't find it on the website. Right underneath, you have a COVID-19 response page, which again, very important. The COVID rules are constantly changing every few weeks or every few months, and you want to stay up to date. So it gives you updates on closures, reopenings, and ongoing changes to service cities. So if you need updates on store hours or public transit routes, you can definitely use this link to get that information. So you just have to click this yellow link over here. If you look below, there's a lot of different information it can give you as well. So recreation and leisure activities, it can give you swimming and skating schedules in your community or at your community centers. It can give you library hours. It can give you information on your local park locations, construction, parking, employment, volunteer opportunities. So much information can be found on this website that you can use to your benefit. And again, especially during COVID, I think this is a very important resource on Google. So I will now get into the Google Maps demonstration. In this demonstration, I will show how I would get from the University of Waterloo, one of the specific buildings there, to the Waterloo Public Library. So I'm going to play this video. So again, I've just entered City of Waterloo into the search bar at the top, and I've clicked search, and this is the page it's brought me to. You can see that first off, it has a link to the City Waterloo Public Library website. As you scroll down, you have sort of a mini map of the City of Waterloo, and then it gives you a list of some of the libraries in Waterloo as well. We will now scroll back up and go on to the maps section as we did before. And this will load. And now it gives you sort of a map of the entire Waterloo region. Now we want to zoom in. So you can take your cursor and actually move it across so that you can have the Waterloo area in your center. The bottom right corner, there are zoom in and zoom out buttons. So I can zoom in or I can zoom out. I want to zoom in so I can have a bigger field of view of the region. This now gives me all of the Waterloo libraries that are in the area. So Lucy Wong Library, Davis Center, McCormick Branch. I can take my cursor over all of these areas and it will give me information on that specific library. On the left side, you can actually hover over these sort of names as well. And you can see on the map that that specific red marker will get bigger. So it's pointing out to you that the library, that's where the library is. On the left side, it also gives you important information on street address, hours of operation, phone number. It gives you a link to the website right beside over here, and you can also get directions. So we want directions today. So I click on directions, and then now it's asking me for my starting point. So I can either literally click on the map to point out my starting point. Let's say I'm starting at Stanley Park Mall. I can literally click there and it'll enter it here. Or I can type something in. So I want to start at the Applied Health Sciences building at the University of Waterloo. It gives me a little recommendation right underneath, and I click that. Now, there's a lot going on here. It gives me some routes, some public transit routes on the map here. It gives me two of them. One is 19 minutes and the other is 33. At the top left, you can see that there's a bunch of different travel modes. So driving, busing, walking, cycling, or flying, which obviously would not be available from this distance. So we'll go on to driving. And now it gives me three different routes. You can see that the first one is 7 minutes, 3.3 kilometers. So that represents this blue line, which is labeled 7 minutes. The second one says 8 minutes, 3.7 kilometers. And you can see it is this gray route over here. And the third one is 9 minutes, 3.9 kilometers. And it represents this route over here. Again, Google is very important. It helps you with traffic information, road constructions, which can ensure that you get to your destination safely and efficiently. So if we go on walking, it gives you three routes as well through different trails. Now this is also very If you click on details, it'll give you step-by-step instructions as to how to get there. And again, it gives you distance and time as well. If you go on cycling, it gives me 2 different routes. It gives me time and distance. And you can see on the map that this blue line is the route. Again, something very important specifically for cycling and walking is that it will only give you walking routes that have sidewalks or cycling routes that have bike lanes. So in this demonstration, I'm going to show you how to get there via public transit. So I've clicked transit and I'm going to show you this first route that is 19 minutes. So that is this blue line over here. Again, blue dots represent walking and the blue line represents the ION train. So on the left side, it tells me that the route is going to start at 6:57 p.m. and I will arrive there at 7:16 p.m. And the bus leaves from 7:04 p.m. from the University of Waterloo station, gives me a price, a time, and it tells me that the train will actually come every 15 minutes. So if I miss it one time, I can get on it again after 15 minutes. I will now click details. And now it gives me step-by-step instructions as to how I can get there. So I start at the University of Waterloo Faculty of Applied Health Sciences, which is this dot over here. The name of the building is here as well. I have to walk about 7 minutes, which is about 550 meters along these blue dots until I get to the station. And you can see on the left side that it's labeled the University of Waterloo station. I then have to get on the 301 train, and that takes me along the blue line. It says that I will have to go past 2 stops before I get off at the Willis Way station. So I'm going to zoom in again. I start off at the University of Waterloo station. I go down the line. I can see that the first stop is here, Laurier Waterloo Park Station, but it said I have to get off after 2 stops. So I keep going down the line. I have to get off at Willis Way Station again, so just keep track of the names. And here we are. The blue line ends over here. This is Willis Way Station. It'll actually show the name of Willis Way Station in a couple of seconds. It now says I have to walk about 7 minutes, 550 meters back in this direction. And then I take a right on DuPont Street and I arrive at the library. So on the bottom right corner, there's a person here who you can drag and actually drop on one of these blue lines to get a street view. So I'm going to drop him on Willis Way Station. And again, this is very important. It basically shows me the surroundings, where I'm actually going. If I zoom in over here, I can see Willis Way Station. And then something that's very important are landmarks. Look at the surroundings, where you're going. I can see here that there's parking lots on both sides. There's a Shopify building, and this really helps to recognize where you actually have to go if you do forget the street names or the train station names. Now on the bottom left corner, there's a mini map which shows me I have to go down this Caroline Street South. And I can actually take my cursor here, this arrow, and click anywhere on the road to drag me forward in that direction. So I'm going to move it forward a little bit. And then it moves me forward. So I can keep checking on the bottom left corner, the little map. I still have to keep going in this direction. I'm still a little far away from turning right onto DuPont Street. So I keep going forward. Again, remembering major landmarks. There's a President's Choice grocery store, remembering that I have to keep going past the grocery store. Remember that I have to go past another Shopify building. I go past one traffic signal called Herb Street. So I continue to follow the path. Again, it says Herb Street over there. So remembering that I go past Herb Street here, keep going forward. And now I can see on my mini map that I have to turn right on this street here. Now there is no label here for DuPont Street. So if you were actually walking in this area, it would be difficult for you to recognize where DuPont Street is. So again, remember major landmarks. If you look to your right, there is a massive BMO Bank building. It's basically the biggest building in the area. So if you can remember that you have to take a right when you see this BMO building, that would be very helpful, especially if you're not good with street names like I'm not. So you can now take your cursor and go ahead in this direction. And again, it says DuPont Street in the white letters on the road. I will continue to move forward. Again, remembering the BMO building. And there we go. It says Waterloo Public Library. I'm there. You can see the sign on the building as well. I'm going to keep going forward. And here we are. It says Waterloo Public Library again. That's the front door. Remembering again, right across from the library is the BMO building. There's a parking lot with leaves on it. I can go on this maps view and see that there's parking in the area, which would be very helpful. And I can just get a general recognition of what the library looks like, what the surrounding area looks like, and where I actually have to go, especially if I have not been in that area before. Again, that's the end of this demonstration, but as Dan mentioned, this entire presentation will be posted, will be sent to you and posted on YouTube, so you can definitely check out this demonstration again if you need to.
Well,
All
thank
right.
you for that, Mohad. Now, as Mohad had mentioned, one of the things that he talked about in regards to Google, Chrome, and searching was YouTube. Now, to get a better understanding of YouTube, YouTube is an online video sharing platform that was launched in 2005. It is similar to Google, it is a search engine. However, YouTube is especially for videos. Now, as a user specifically, you can go on YouTube and search through videos that others have shared with the world. You as the user can like or dislike videos as well as other cool features that will be shown to you right after this. You can comment on the videos or you can share the videos with friends and family and coworkers. YouTube videos can be educational or instructional, and a mind-blowing fact that currently 5 billion videos are watched on YouTube every single day. Now let's take a closer look. Okay, Mahad, I'm going to take over your screen. Okay, can we see my screen clearly?
Yes, we can.
Perfect. All right, everyone. So in order to get to YouTube, you're going to want to first open an internet browser. Now, this demonstration will work for any internet browser, so don't worry. But today we're specifically using Google Chrome. Now, at the top of your browser, I want you to type in the search bar, youtube.com. And then hit. Okay, now to get the best things out of YouTube, you're going to want to sign in. Now, one thing I didn't mention earlier was that Google actually owns YouTube. So in order to sign into YouTube, you have to have a Google account. Now, I've already signed in before, hence my name already being here, but I'll show you what it'll kind of look like when you try to sign in. So first it'll ask you to enter your email or your phone number. Then you'll have to enter your password. And then voila, you are now successfully logged into YouTube. So today, let's look at salad recipes to better understand how YouTube works. So I'm going to type in salad recipe. Now, as you can see, salad recipe is already purple, which means I've already looked at salad recipes before, and I'll be sharing with you what I've seen. I'm going to click that, and a lot of auto-generated things have been added as well. If you're interested in other things regarding salad recipes, these will usually show up. Click enter. And today we will be watching a salad recipe from Natasha's Kitchen. Okay, first things first. Play button. This allows you to play the video and to pause the video. Then we have the next button. This allows you to play the next video. If you look up here, this will be the next video. Next, you have the volume button. This allows you to lower the volume and to increase the volume, as well as to automatically mute the volume and unmute it. Next, we have the autoplay button. Now, the autoplay button is currently off. When I click it, it turns on. This means that once this video is done, the next video here will automatically start playing. If you don't want that to happen, just click it off and boom, it won't happen once this video ends. After that, we have the subtitles/closed captions button. When it's outlined, or rather underlined red, this means that it's on. As you can see, everything that's being said in the video,
it's definitely a reader favorite,
is being shown on the screen. And then when you click it and it's no longer underlined with a red line, the words disappear. Next, we have our settings. The first is our annotations. Annotations are when YouTubers, such as Natasha, have decided to include other videos side by side on their video. For example, when you click this I button, you'll see the annotations. So Natasha has included another cucumber tomato avocado salad recipe video, a healthy avocado tuna salad recipe. And if you scroll down, you'll see so much more. So that's exactly what annotations are. Not every YouTuber will have an annotation. Next, you have the playback speed. The playback speed is currently set to normal. As you can see, this is currently normal. And then to change the playback speed, lowering the playback speed will cause the video to be slower. And you might want the video to be slower probably when she's, for example, cutting. You probably want to see how she cuts something. Let's look at how she cuts this. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to lower the playback speed. Hit play.
sure there's plenty of it.
Now you can see how slowly she cut open the avocado. Maybe you want to increase the video speed because now that you've seen the avocado being cut, you want to move on to something else and you want it to move faster. Increase the speed, press play.
The pitting and slicing an avocado.
And watch how fast she goes. After that, we have the subtitles. But this is a more advanced version of subtitles compared to this button over here that we looked at initially. When you click the subtitles buttons, it gives you the option to set the subtitles to English default, auto-generated. Sometimes it even gives you the option to change the language on the actual video subtitles. So say you want to watch the video subtitles in Arabic, it'll give you the option to do that. But only certain videos give you the option to do that. And it would appear here under this English auto-generated. Next, we have quality. Some videos can be up to 1080p HD quality, and some may not be. Here, it just allows you to change the quality. Now that we're done looking at settings, we have the mini player. What the mini player does is it just brings the screen down a bit and allows you to use other parts of YouTube while still watching Natasha's video. So when I click mini player, notice how Natasha's video has come to the right corner of my screen. Expanding this will bring it back to the top. After that, we have the cinema mode. In case you want to watch this screen a little bigger than this current one, just click cinema mode. If you want it even bigger, you'll click full screen. Now, to get out of full screen at the bottom, you'll just click that same button again, which says exit full screen, and you'll be out. Now, we didn't click this button. This button is if you want to play it on a TV. So say you have a television, a smart TV located anywhere near you, and you'd like to broadcast the video onto the TV, just click this button and it'll give you the option to broadcast it onto the TV.
Okay, we appear to have lost audio.
Yeah, I was confused for a second as to what happened.
Actually, the user that she was in with actually disconnected. So
Oh, okay.
I don't know. Oh, here she is back. Welcome back.
Thank you. I'm sorry about that, everyone. It seems like I was having some technical difficulties there for a moment. I do apologize. Now, after this, we spoke about the playing on TV option. I'll bring you a little lower to the things that are located under the video. You guys can still see my screen, right?
Yes, we can.
Perfect. Okay, so below here, we have the like button. If you like Natasha's video, you can give her a thumbs up. If you're not so happy about Natasha's video, you can give her a thumbs down. You also have the option of sharing the video with family, friends, whoever you want to. There's also a link here that you can copy and send directly to someone. Then you have the save button. Maybe you want to save this video for later. The best part is that actually, when you check off this box, it's private. Hence the key, well, the lock being locked currently. It just means that your videos that you save to watch later will be private. Okay, now there are two things under these three dots. One is to report, and the other is to open transcript. Maybe you don't think the video is appropriate. You can report it. And sometimes people want to see the transcript, or you'd want to read the transcript of what Natasha's saying. You click transcript and notice how everything appears on the side for every moment she speaks. Okay. Now currently, you can't see the comments under this video because my settings are set to restricted mode, which pretty much protects you from any inappropriate things that may be included on certain YouTube videos. When I come to my name icon right over here, I see various things. For example, creating a channel, purchasing a YouTube membership, as well as switching to YouTube Studio. So that's if I want to create a YouTube video, switching my account. But when you scroll all the way down, you notice that my restriction mode is actually on. If I turn it off, notice how the screen will now change. And when I scroll down, I can now comment on the video. So just keep in mind, if you would like to have your YouTube restricted, that's how you would turn it on and off. Now, if you would like to leave Natasha a comment, you can just comment right here and then you hit comments. Now, if Natasha likes the comments, if Natasha comments under your comments, or somebody else comments under your comments, you'll see a notification right here. Now, say you like Natasha's video a lot. What you can now do is subscribe to her. This will allow you to see different versions, or rather different videos made by Natasha. Over here is the notification bell. Every time Natasha posts, if you would like to get a notification up here, you just click this, click all, or you can personalize what type of Natasha notifications you would like to get. Now that we looked at everything on this screen, let's return back to our YouTube home screen. Notice how Natasha is on our home screen. What this means is that now that she's subscribed, or rather now that we're subscribed to her, we'll see more of her on our YouTube home screen whenever we come to YouTube. Also, if you watch videos in general, YouTube will also tend to put them on your home screen as well, based on the interest that you've shown YouTube that you're interested in. Then over here on the left side, we have the trending, seeing what's trending on YouTube. We have our subscriptions. We are currently subscribed to Natasha alone, which means everything Natasha has posted will be here. You can subscribe to as many people as you want, and they will appear below here where Natasha is as you increase your subscriptions. Your library is just based on videos that you would like to watch later, as well as your playlist and your liked videos. Hence Natasha's video being shown here under history, which also has its own tab. Then there's your videos, which we don't have currently, but if you did, this is the screen it would bring you to. Now that we go back, your watch later. You remember that little block that we saw before? Had we have clicked it, we would have seen Natasha's video appear here. The liked videos, the more videos you like, they will appear here as well. Now we'll go back to home. One feature that I didn't remember to show you all is this microphone feature. If you feel the need to want to search what you want to search with your voice, you'll click this microphone button, say what you want to say, hit enter, and you'll be able to search it like that as well. Now, that's pretty much everything that will help you get started with you learning how to use YouTube. And I hope you really enjoyed and learned something from this. Thank you. Okay, Mohad, I think I'm going to change it back to you. Do you have control now?
Just give me a second.
No problem.
Can everyone see my screen?
No.
No.
Okay. I think I have to share it again. There you go. You can see my screen now?
Perfectly.
Okay. So that was the YouTube demonstration. All right, additional resources. As Dan mentioned at the beginning, we are from NTech. We offer a specific service called NTech at Home that actually started during the COVID-19 pandemic and will continue after the pandemic as well, because we feel that it has really benefited the surrounding community. So it's basically a free phone and email-based tech support. So you can go onto our online website, www.ntech.club. It'll connect you to a form where you can enter your name, your contact information, and your tech challenge or your tech problem. And we will get back to you as soon as possible to solve the issue for you. We will talk to you on the phone or via email. You can also drop your challenge or your problem via our phone number, where you can actually just leave a message and we will get back to it as soon as possible as well. So this has been a very helpful tool for a lot of the people that we have helped out. So again, if you're having any tech difficulties, maybe your YouTube account isn't running properly or you aren't receiving emails, you can definitely contact us and we can try to help you as much as we can. So that's the end of our presentation. We hope you enjoyed. Again, this video will be posted on YouTube. So if you have any confusions about something we discussed, you can watch the YouTube video to see that topic again. But if you have any questions right now, I believe Dan will let us know if there's anything in the chat box, or you can just add your questions in the chat box right now.
That's great, Mahad. So thank you guys both very much. That was actually really informative. And I can tell you that I've been, I consider myself internet savvy, and you guys even showed me a couple tricks that I was unaware of. So that was really good. You talked about phishing emails or you talked about phishing websites and links and the danger and sort of what they do. Is there a way, like what sort of safety practices could I exhibit to avoid, like, how do I determine? So I get an email that says it's from my bank, right? And it says, "Dear customer, click here to verify your account details, etc." Like, what's the best practice for me to not get trapped with those types of emails?
Well, thank you for your question. And I love how you gave that example, because with an example like that in your emails, when you get an email and probably has your bank title, for example, TD Bank, and it'll say it came from TD Bank, you need to pay close attention to details in the email. For example, the actual email address. A lot of these times, a lot of these phishing scams that will occur will have their name as TD Bank or any other bank or any other legitimate practice, and the email will not be legit. So the email will be like a weird girl, or it'll say something weird. Like, the email will not be the email of the actual bank. It will not be a straightforward email at all. It'll look very funny to you. So that's one way to pay attention to phishing in your emails. And you could also call your bank and just ask if they sent the email.
Yeah, I find that for me, like, if I get an email from my bank or whatever, some other web service that's saying I need to do something, what I like to do is I don't ever click a link within an email. I actually like go onto the website, go to the bank website, log in, and then see if there's any notifications there. And obviously, 99.9% of the time there is no notification from your bank, right? So
Mhm.
cool. I have a question here. It says, is it possible to change Google Map units from kilometers to miles?
Yes, I believe it is. Let me go back. I believe you actually just have to double click or right click on the screen, and then it should give you the opportunity to change units of measurement or something. Um, Let me just open up Google Maps. Sorry, just give me a second. I've muted this as well.
No problem. Are there any other questions that we can look at while Mohad is pulling it up?
I was just wondering. So obviously we're focused on Google a lot today. Google Chrome being the #1 browser. Is there like I know that I can use Chrome if I have an Apple computer.
Mhm.
Is there any benefit to doing that, or is it better to use like Safari, like the native browser on Apple? Or like, is my performance going to lag if I use a third-party browser on Apple?
The thing with Chrome is currently the most used browser known. And the reason for that is due to the accuracy and the privacy and a lot of the safety features as well that comes with Chrome. A lot of the other web browsers have that as well, but Chrome seems to be taking the lead with handling all of those things.
Mm-hmm.
And I personally I prefer to use Google Chrome over Safari, and I use an Apple product. I think it's just a more efficient web browser. I'm not sure if everyone else shares the same opinion, but again, it is the most popular tool.
Yeah, I've tried other browsers over the years, and I don't know. I keep coming back to Chrome. I mean, it's sort of like, as you've pointed out today, and also when you start looking at Google tools like Google Docs and Sheets and whatnot, it's really its own like enclosed software system. It's not just a browser. So I use it. I've been using it. I've tried Firefox over the years. I've even tried Internet Explorer or Microsoft Edge, but I just keep coming back to Chrome. So if somebody were to fill out the form for NTech, like what sort of like what you fill out the form, like what's sort of the turnaround? So if I have a problem, let's say I'm on the computer in the morning and I'm having a problem or whatever, like is this like you guys like respond within a day, a couple of days? Like how does that work?
Well,
So
I'm sorry, you can go.
all right, I'll go first, then you can go. So you just enter in your information, and we basically have a bunch of students who are signed up, and they're on call to receive the information whenever. So you send your information in, and possibly within 6 hours, I'd say, we would send the information to that student, and they would send you an email or give you a phone call within the next 6 hours as well, based on their schedule. You also have the opportunity to give us sort of your available hours. So you can either be open, so 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. Monday to Friday, or you can put specific hours. And then that lets us know when you would like us to actually contact you.
Cool.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's really helpful. And there's no cost for that, correct?
No,
Nope.
there's no cost.
Awesome.
I just had something to say. It's not really a question, but it was just a comment that I found really interesting. Was I didn't know this, but in the Google Maps, if it gives you walking directions, it only gives you where there's sidewalks, and that's wonderful to know. You know that people aren't going to be sent to places that could potentially be unsafe or whatever. So that was really interesting, and thank you for sharing that.
Yeah, no worries. I think it's very helpful that sometimes sidewalks can be under construction, and then maybe you have this one route that you always go on to get to this one place, and then one week maybe there's construction and you have no idea about it. So I think Google Maps or even your city website, the community resource, are a helpful tool to give you that information.
I don't know how many of you have seen the Lord of the Ring movies, but there's a line in the movie in Google a few years ago. If you typed Mordor and you asked for directions, you asked for walking directions to Mordor, Google Maps came back with the response, one does not simply walk into Mordor, which is from the movie.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, it doesn't do it anymore, but when the movies were a little bigger, that's what it said. It was pretty cool. So Mahad, are you going to be able to pull that up, or I'm just being mindful of the time? So
Yeah, no, I was just looking for it. This is new for me as well. Give me like 2 minutes, and then
Alright.
I will show you.
I see that Tanya has Bob with her. So I don't recall the next session next month.
Mhm.
I believe that there was a list. You guys know offhand what next month's presentation is?
Personally, I do not.
Yeah, I don't have it in front of me, but
It's social media and connecting with others. So Gmail, Facebook, stuff like that.
oh, cool. That's so funny. I just had a really intense discussion with somebody today about social media and the positives and negatives of it. So that should be a good session.
Yeah.
Nothing like pressure with people watching you while you're trying to figure something out.
That's exactly.
I'm looking as well.
So
So I wonder maybe, Mahad, if you're having difficulty pulling it up right now, maybe the individual who's curious could send you an email, or he just chatted. If you want, you could email me. So maybe that would be more appropriate because we seem to be dragging on. So I'm not sure if you don't have access to my private chat, but I can send you his email address if you like, Mahad.
yeah, that'd be great.
Would you do me a favor then? I don't have your email address.
I can.
I'll tell you my email address because it's pretty easy. And then
Mhm.
if you want to just send me something, and then I'll reply with this guy's email. So my
Okay.
email is Dan, DAN,
Mhm.
at ilcwr.org. So Dan at ilcwr.org. If you don't have it, Venus has it, so you can get it from her. But yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, send me an email, then I'll reply with this guy's email. And then if anybody else is interested, just fire me an email. Let me know if you're interested in that as well. Other than that, guys, awesome. Thank you so much. It was a really informative presentation. And like I said, sometimes when you're familiar with the product, it's really nice to watch somebody sort of delve into it a little deeper because you pick up some tips and tricks that maybe you didn't have before. So really great, guys. Thank you so much. Really sharp.
Yeah. No. Thank you for having us. It was a pleasure.
All right. Look forward to it. All right. We'll talk to you soon.
All right.
Bye bye,
Bye.
everyone.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.